Hello, everybody. This is Linda Martin with the Safety Struggle, and I am here with another Safety Bytes sponsored by Mariner Golf. And I have as my guest James Junkin. Hi, James.
Hey, Linda. How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm ready for another topic. How about you?
Sounds great.
Okay, here we go. This is a hot one. So, in the years that I've been in the safety profession, I have heard a number of people talk about a division or a divide between safety professionals. The divide being people with a lot of education on one side and sometimes experience, sometimes not. And then on the other side, people that either came up for the trades or got their degrees later in life or don't have degrees at all, but they have a ton of experience. So these are the things that I hear people talk about. And I'm asking you, do you see the same thing or do you hear the same thing from people where you work? And if so, what do we do about it?
Throughout my career, which hasn't been as long as some people might suspect, I've only been doing safety now for 13, 14 years. This division between the non-degreed safety professional and the degreed safety professional. Then the division between the certified and the non-certified. And there are camps in which people get and they feel very, very, very strongly about each other. Right?
And vocal.
And very vocal. Very vocal. And I've been in both camps as a degreed safety professional and a non-degreed safety professional. And I've heard it from both sides. And I think what gets lost in this, who's more qualified to be a safety professional, is the reason we got into safety to begin with. And that's to make sure that people come home from high hazard jobs. I don't care what your experience, your background, your education, your certification is. If you have a good idea, I want to hear it. Because I'm about to get me fired up now, Linda.
I'm not saying anything. I
Okay.
just
Okay.
gave you the discussion prompt. I just want to know.
While we're arguing over who's worthy to practice,
People are dying.
we're dying.
People are dying.
Okay? I want to preface this, what I'm about to say. You can never go wrong with education. Education cannot hurt you. Learning cannot hurt you. Challenging the way you used to think with new ideas only makes you better, even if you keep the same philosophy and idea that you had before you challenged yourself. All you did was just revalidate, right? Experience helps. Experience informs. Those two combined should make for better practitioners. But that's not to say that someone who may not have a college degree in occupational safety and health, or any degree, doesn't have value and cannot inform. They've been doing it in the field with the hazards, with death at death's door for half a century. I need to listen to those people.
I agree.
They are worthy of practice. They're worthy to be heard from. And if you want to get me fired up, denigrate some of these folks.
Yep.
Because they may not have had the same opportunities you've had. Listen, my dad, my granddad, they didn't go to college. They didn't have those opportunities. My grandfather grew up on a dairy farm and went off and fought World War II as a 15-year-old sailor and saved the world from tyranny, and came home and had a family and retired after another 30, 40 years working for the U.S. government. I call that a successful life, right?
Yep.
One of the smartest men I ever knew. Didn't have any formal college education. So I think we got to get out of this where both camps are looking at each other, and it's both camps. It's both. You know,
it takes everybody.
That's right. One camp's looking toward the degreed safety professionals saying, y'all don't have any experience. You know, I don't care what your book says. This is how it works. And the other side saying, well, you know, you don't understand how a safety management system works, and never read anything by Fred Manuel and all this other stuff. So you may not be able to pass the certifications exam. So you don't bring value. Enough of it. Enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
We need to come together because what we're doing is not working.
So how do we fix it then?
Well, I think one of the first things we need to do is stop talking past each other and start talking to each other. You know, conference season is here.
Yep.
Right? And that's a perfect time to get with people that may be different from you, that may not have the same experience that you have or the same education that you have, and talk to people. Just talk to people. And if we can learn to talk and then listen effectively, which is not me listening to what I'm going to respond to you, but me actively engaging and listening to learn, not listening to respond. I think we can get past this and understand that it's going to take all of us to solve these self issues. The world is more complex. The technology is more complex. The training that you need is more complex than it was in my father and grandfather's day. The fatality rates at 5,000 people a year across all industries in the United States, that's abhorrent. It's abhorrent. So while we're arguing amongst each other, we're not coming up with really effective strategies on how to prevent that. The other camps.
Okay.
Okay. All these different safety theories. Okay.
Now you're about to get me fired up.
Right. Okay. I love to read that stuff. Right. But here's my thing. Whether it's behavior-based safety, HOP, system safety, safety 1, safety 2, safety differently. Is there a new one that's coming out next week? It seems like we get a new one every few years.
Yep.
Right? Get out of the camp. There is no magic bullet. There are a lot of things that can inform your opinions, and mine have changed over the years. If you had to put me in a camp, I'd say I'm more of a human performance systems guy, but it's what's going to work in your organization.
Or in the moment. Right? I mean, you're speaking my language, James. You know how I feel about safety theories, and it just depends. And I'm very much in alignment with you when it comes to, you know, we've got these camps, and you know, I feel like we need to come some kind of a ceasefire where we all put down our weapons, right? And by weapons, I mean the pin and the certificate and the, you know, whatever else you have, things that you're collecting, or your 30 years of, just lay down your weapons, okay? And let's realize what we're here to do, which is to save lives and bring people home the same way that they went to work, right? Or better, maybe better, right? And so if we can do that, and I'm not sure that there's anything short of wiping out a lot of this stuff. I'm a wipe it out theory and start over, but you know, you have some really good ideas.
Chaos theory.
Right, the Big Bang, right?
That's it.
You know, if there was a big bang for the safety profession, and we could just level this playing field and all work together to rebuild a civilization for the safety profession where we all can get along and start to see what we're really here for, I think that would be a really good thing. When we come together, how do we begin to talk to each other?
Well, I think one of the first things we have to do whenever you have a problem, and we have a problem, we have a serious injury and fatality problem, right? is it's time to take all the solutions and dump them on the table. Because what we're doing is not working. If it's working, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Right.
The trend is in the wrong direction. So I think from, a conference standpoint, from individual standpoint, when we get together, we talk together like we do sometimes as colleagues, or we just, we're all sitting around, we're having a drink one night and these topics come up, that we get out of our camp and we say, this is what I'm trying in my organization. What are you trying in your organization? Man, that may work for us. Because again, there's a guy, I'm not going to name his name, but on LinkedIn, every post, and he's very active, is wanting to go back to, and I agree with it. Call it what you want to in safety. It's like a new name comes up every year.
Yep.
It's still about identifying hazards, identifying risk, and putting controls in place. So what methods can we come up with to do that so that we can reduce this serious injury fatality rate? I don't have all the answers. Right. I don't even know if I know all the questions. There are a lot of people a lot smarter than me that have been published that have a lot of things to say about this topic. But I wish we'd just quit talking past each other and defending our pet theory that we came along with and say, I'm this person. I'm a BBS guy. I'm a HOP guy. I'm a systems guy. I'm a safety differently guy. Man, I just want to get people home.